The interview, hosted by Gary Neville on The Overlap, published March 10, 2025, features Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who reflects on his first year as a minority owner of Manchester United after acquiring a stake in early 2024. With 799,172 views, 23,628 likes, and 3,400 comments, the video captures significant fan interest. Ratcliffe discusses the club's performance, managerial transitions, financial turmoil, and long-term vision, all under intense scrutiny from fans and media. Ratcliffe begins by summing up his initial 12 months, admitting it's been as challenging as anticipated. He highlights the club's immense scale and the daily media pressure. "I get a clip around the ear every day by the press," which he underestimated. Despite fan frustration and his current unpopularity, he insists this transitional year aligns with his expectations. "I didn't expect in a year of change that we'd be winning the Premier League." He frames the difficulties as necessary to reverse a decade of decline since Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement in 2013. Ratcliffe delves into the decision to replace Erik ten Hag with Ruben Amorim. He describes ten Hag's tenure as erratic, exemplified by the FA Cup win against Manchester City in May 2024 versus poor showings like against Crystal Palace. After the FA Cup triumph, Ratcliffe's team considered other managers but retained ten Hag, a choice he now regrets. "It was a wrong decision. Hands up. Mea culpa." He cites mitigating factors such as the new management team, himself, Omar Barada, and Jason Wilcox, being too inexperienced together to judge ten Hag's performance amid a flawed organizational structure. Amorim, appointed mid-season, earns high praise despite mixed results. Ratcliffe values his honesty and resilience, noting challenges like inheriting a squad not suited to his 3-4-3 system, managing with half his top earners unavailable due to injuries, e.g. Luke Shaw, Mason Mount, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, and adapting to the Premier League's physicality. He points to a glimpse of the future in a cohesive second-half performance against Arsenal, despite a depleted bench featuring teenagers like 18-year-old Chido Obi Martin, signed from Arsenal 3 weeks prior. Ratcliffe unequivocally backs Amorim for the next season, emphasizing support from the management team. The club's finances dominate the discussion, with Ratcliffe revealing staggering losses: £330 million over 4 years and 7 consecutive years of deficits. Operating costs have soared since 2016, with staff numbers rising to 1,150 before cuts to 700, alongside a bloated wage bill. He cites £89 million due this summer for past signings like Casemiro, Højlund, Antony, and Sancho, calling previous contracts mad. Comparing United's effective salary bill, adjusted for unavailable players, to mid-table clubs like Nottingham Forest, £130 million, rather than Manchester City, £300 million, or Liverpool, £200 million, he underscores the squad's current limitations. To address this, Ratcliffe has implemented unpopular measures, cutting staff perks, e.g. lunches, reducing funding for the Former Players Association by £40,000, and raising ticket prices, e.g. from discounted rates to £66 for 500 returned tickets. Neville challenges the £40,000 cut, suggesting players like Bruno Fernandes and Harry Maguire host a fundraiser instead. Ratcliffe, unaware of the specifics, concedes it's a fair idea but defends a look after the pennies philosophy, arguing that overlooking small costs leads to bigger missteps. Ratcliffe addresses his partnership with the Glazer family, who retain majority control. He notes their £200 million in dividends over 20 years and a £730 million debt burden, with interest costs of £30 to £40 million annually. The debt has risen £330 million in 4 years due to overspending, not Glazer withdrawals, though Neville presses why they haven't injected equity to offset mistakes. Ratcliffe resists criticizing them directly, citing a professional relationship where they grant autonomy. Ratcliffe briefly addresses Dan Ashworth's exit as sporting director after 8 months, chased for his transformation expertise. He attributes it to chemistry issues within the management team, calling it another error costing £15 million alongside ten Hag's payoff. He defends the swift correction, unwilling to live with it despite media backlash. The interview ends on an upbeat note with Ratcliffe's ambitious plans. By summer 2025, Carrington will be a best-in-class training center. More ambitiously, he envisions a new, iconic 100,000-seat stadium by 2030 to 2031, designed by Norman Foster to rival the Bernabeu or Nou Camp. Tied to a government regeneration scheme for South Manchester, touted as Europe's largest by Chancellor Rachel Reeves. It aims to boost the Premier League and North England, hosting England games and Champions League finals. Refurbishing Old Trafford is an alternative, but Ratcliffe favors a new build if government-backed. Ratcliffe concludes by reaffirming his commitment, driven by boyhood fandom and belief in United's global stature. The world's favorite football club. Neville praises his communication, a stark contrast to the Glazers' 25-year silence, despite the current trough. Ratcliffe accepts short-term unpopularity for long-term success, aiming to restore United's debt-free, trophy-winning glory days. Neville praises his communication, a stark contrast to the Glazers' 25-year silence, despite the current trough. Ratcliffe accepts short-term unpopularity for long-term success, aiming to restore United's debt-free, trophy-winning glory days.